Censoring myself. No, I think what we were saying was, so this weekend is the this is a big weekend for auto racing because it's the big day, the Indy 500 and the Coke 600. And for those of you who don't know, both of these races, it is a tradition. They are run on Memorial Day weekend. This is what this weekend is, Memorial Day weekend. And you can tell NASCAR built their schedule around, when they can do this.
Certain races, yeah.
I mean, basically, that this race is going to go here, and Pepsi 400 is going to go
around 4th of July.
And that's kind of built from there. When we made a schedule, we'll go into this later, but we kind of said, we're going to have Charlotte in the Memorial Day weekend. We built from there. And so because of that, made me think, and made us think, actually this was your idea, so it made you think about other traditions in sports. So that's what our top 5 list is going to be. And for the first time ever, which isn't that big of a deal because we've only had 2 guests, we're gonna let our guests may have one too, only because our last guest didn't know NASCAR and it was a NASCAR top 5 list. But anyway, so Chris, start off number 5.
You want me to start, or do we want?
Yeah, we'll go left to right.
Okay.
We'll do 5, 5, 5.
Are we okay? Are we okay on time?
We'll go back and do honorable mentions. We'll just do 5.
Okay.
Top 5 right now.
Okay. Now I kind of played with the tradition a little bit. Just what I tried to do was I tried to think of things that I, as a child, looked forward to at the same time every year and whatnot. My number 5 is actually basketball, and it's the NBA Finals the first week of June. I always am excited about that because it's around my birthday. It just always excites me. I love the NBA Finals, especially during that time. I remember in 2000.
Is that a tradition?
Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of when it happened.
No, it's the first week in June. I mean, that's when they have them.
It always ends up being around there.
Yeah, and I think to me it's a tradition. I know when I was a child, to me it's a tradition.
Okay.
And I was like, I missed it.
I guess it's a tradition. Whatever.
I remember. I remember a couple years ago I missed it because I was on vacation and it made me sad.
Okay. Fasha.
Well, my number 5 goes across all levels of racing.
Okay.
My number 5 is the parade laps before the beginning of any feature race. You will find that on your local dirt tracks,
You'll find
all the way
your,
up to Indy.
On your video games?
On your video games. If it's in automotive racing, there are parade laps. The drivers drive around. If you're not into racing, you need to understand that the drivers, they drive around, they wave to the fans in the stand, acknowledge their presence, because without them, they wouldn't have.
If you've ever been to a local short track, you'll see that all the time. Or every heat race, they'll do that.
Right, and I just think that's a great thing, parade laps. That's a great tradition.
All right, well.
That's actually really good. I like that. That is a good tradition.
All right, you ready for this one? Because this one's awesome.
Of course it is.
My number 5 is, and I like to use my my own interpretation of what we mean by traditions, like in every top 5. One of my favorite traditions every year, in July, at the end of July when training camps begin, are training camp holdouts. Who will not sign? Who will not show up this year? It's always fun, except for when it's Terrell Owens, because then it's just like, oh God, you again. But my main thing is I love the tradition of training camp holdouts, and that's kind of weak, but no, I like my crazy interpretations.
My number 4, I wrote on here Halloween-y time World Series, but my number 4 is the Fall Classic. Growing up, even when I didn't like baseball. It always falls the last week in October. It is just sometimes with the way the calendar falls, it bumps to November 1st. But that's always a big thing to me. And it would be, to me, what I kind of took with the traditions was if they moved something, it would just throw everything disarray. And if they moved that, actually they were talking about changing some of the format of the World Series for this year. They won't. But I just think it's a top thing to me, and it's just something that I kept thinking.
Maybe they should play 20 less games and have it not be so freaking cold out, though.
Well, that's if you get the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series, and you're fine because it's Houston.
Yeah, but seriously. But really,
yeah,
but when you get Boston in there and
it gets pretty chilly,
and New York,
even Chicago, Chicago won't make it.
Hey,
I was talking about the White Sox.
Okay, then yes.
Not really. Okay, your turn.
Number 4.
Pick up the pace here.
The Gatorade bath. A winning coach gets the Gatorade bath. Now, I will say this: it's become overused.
Yeah, we won Monday night. We want to keep a Monday Night Football.
We won a preseason game. You give the coach a Gatorade bath. That's just a waste of Gatorade. Okay.
Yeah.
And now the coach has got to clean his clothes.
It's a real waste of Gatorade.
But I think it's a cool thing for a championship. They want a championship, sneak up and get them. Yeah, I think that's cool.
And I'm gonna give you a Gatorade bath after the show. It's congratulations
for Tony's win.
No, just for finishing the show.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, my number 4. This is a tradition started by the man himself, Dale Earnhardt, which is special paint schemes for the All-Star race. And I mean, they happen all the time now, but it was originally the big thing was
That's where it started. Yeah.
Doing something really cool or special with your car for that race. And it was really Earnhardt who did it first time in like '95 with that silver car that he did. So I did that. Okay, we gotta go faster. Chris, number 3.
Okay, my number 3 is the Pepsi 400, July 4th weekend. Or Coke 400 or whatever it's called
it's
now.
Pepsi
The
400.
Firecracker 400.
Yeah, that's what it used to be. Yeah.
That's a big thing about it too. It's the Firecracker 400 on the 4th of July, 4th of July weekend. We had all the pretty fireworks and all that.
But then we got sponsors involved because everybody needs more money.
And it was for a number of years the Pepsi 400, which is why he called it that. It's now technically the Coke Zero.
Yeah, it is
400.
the Coke 400 now. Yeah.
Coke Zero 400.
Whatever. It should be the Diet Coke 400.
It's the Firecracker 400.
Okay.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3. Wrigley Field, 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game.
Yeah, especially when you have terrible
How did I
celebrities.
leave that off my list?
I know. I was surprised, Chris, when I saw your list that
How
you did not
I
have
leave
that
off
there.
my list?
You fail.
You of all people, and me, just a casual baseball fan.
Oh man.
The only games I can tolerate watching are playoff games. I can't watch a whole game during the season.
This is my weakest moment on this show right now.
I don't know. I'm sure we could find something weaker. I'll go look. I'll
most
dig through the
stadiums they
archives.
play the song, but at Wrigley they sing it. So I
How
love
about
that
this,
part
Chris?
of it.
Too soon? Wasn't that your weakest moment? Too soon?
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's why.
No, you don't.
My number 3 was the World Series in October, and I'm only saying that because that's the only thing I could think of.
Okay.
The other two I did were kind of jokey ones. This one I'm actually serious. So, but the top 3, you can tell I was actually trying to think about it.
My number two is the All-Star game, the Midsummer Classic, with baseball.
Yeah, but All-Star games suck.
I know, but I like it, and that was a big thing.
Oh yeah,
for
my number
me
1
as a
tradition is
kid.
the Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
That is mine. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, that'd
I'm
be
joking.
My number 2 is the Olympic torch relay. Coming up to the new Olympics, they bring the flame from the old Olympics to the new.
Boring.
Well, it might be boring, but I think it's a great tradition.
Only if it gets something that's lit on fire.
Well, you do have something lit on fire you're carrying.
No, I mean something like it wasn't supposed to be.
Oh, well, that probably happens too. I don't know. I haven't been on all of them.
Yeah.
Or any of them.
My number 2 was the Southern 500 on Labor Day weekend, and you can tell it's important to me considering it doesn't happen anymore. So maybe one day.
And my number 1, staying with NASCAR and the timeliness of the year, just because of how it probably meant more to me even as a kid than it did now, but it still means a lot, is the Memorial Day race weekend. That's my number 1 tradition.
And the Memorial Day race weekend is a great one for us because not only are we going to get 1,100 miles on Sunday, we're going to get a whole bunch of miles down, and we're going
Friday and
short
Saturday
track
night.
racing.
Yeah.
And
Grundy
we're gonna be
Friday night.
broadcasting
Grundy County
live. We're
Speedway,
gonna be broadcasting
Friday
live.
night.
Friday night, and then
And
Saturday
Rockford
night,
Speedway,
we're up at the
Saturday night.
NASCAR sanctioned track at Rockford.
Yeah, great races both those places.
Great facilities.
What's your number 1, Dad?
Number 1 is the final handshake of the 2 teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, if you've watched hockey, you know how much they battle, they fight, they hurt each other, they hate each other, but at the very end, they all line up and they do shake each other's hands, and it's heartfelt. And I've always thought that was just such a great, great tradition.
Yeah, except for sportsmanship is so, out of style.
But it's nice to see it's still available somewhere.
Yeah. My number 1 was the winner of the Indy 500 drinks milk in Victory Lane, and that tradition is probably the oldest that we've all said. It's, I want to say 80 years, 80 or 90 years old.
Broken only by Emerson Fittipaldi,
Yeah.
who had to drink his orange juice because he owns an orange grove.
Yeah, you idiot.
They should
I
have
just
taken
hope
that
that if I
trophy
ever
away
win the
from
Indy
him.
500, it's skim milk.
Well,
And I'm sure we're all really worried about whether that's going to happen.
Well, actually, there is a truth. The winner gets to kind of pick. I mean, they ask them like all the drivers for the race in case whoever wins, So they had that kind of milk for you.
Do they seriously?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
there
and
you go.
I'm guessing they probably have to be careful in case one of them's lactose intolerant.
I can see it. They asked me, I'd be like, I don't know, milk. Okay. Anyway, we are really close on time. We would do the information and whatnot, but we can't.
You know it. You already know it.
Yeah. Just want to say, Mike Lotta, who was on here a few weeks ago, he is not going to be able to help us out anymore. So we just want to thank him for everything he's done for us up to this point, and everybody else at Wabanzi Community College and FVTV. Thank yous all go around. Thank you for coming on this week.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you all having me. It's been fun. I really enjoyed it.
So, as always, I'm Doug.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Dave.
We'll talk to you later.